I told that they don't like to see you winning. They wanna see you in a penitentiary. I need me a little baby who gon' listen. Girl, I don't wanna be the one you ignorant. My mama told me, boy, make a decision.
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Clutch Talk podcast /YouTube/We Do It All. As always, I am your host, John. Very happy to be here. My boy, Junior, what's going on, baby?
Yo, man, I'm excited. Excited to have Josh on. He's been a friend for a long time, and there'll be some good Warriors talk here.
Oh, yeah, man. We definitely got a great guest and for great Warriors talk. But before we get into the guest, let me talk to my guy over there in the 6, Jay Hill. What's going on?
Yes, sir. Excited to have my guy Joshy on. Excited to talk about the best player in the league and the best team in the league. Let's get it.
Wait, we already did the Lakers one, though. What you talking about?
Oh, wow.
No, I'm talking about Wardell. No, I'm talking about Wardell. You know what I'm talking about.
Wow, Jay Hill is coming out with that heater on this episode, man. Because I know Jay Hill feeling a little confident, man. You know, he got his buddy in Joshy here, another Warriors fan, man. So, Josh, we are very happy to have you here on the pod with us. Thank you very much, for blessing us with your time. And if you want to introduce yourself to the fans, tell the fans a little bit about yourself, how you came about to be a Warriors fan.
Hey, man, thanks for having me, man. I'm just excited to discuss the Warriors upcoming season. Start watching the Warriors back like before we believe. So, let's get into it, man. I'm excited.
Let's do this, man. Let's do this. So without further ado, Joshy, the first question we ask all fans here on these team interviews is, Joshy, as a Warriors fan, are you content with the way the year went?
You know what? I think the Warriors front office could have made a couple more moves, especially at the deadline, just to get us that extra push to get us in the playoffs. Because I think we were one game out of missing the playoffs because we lost to Memphis. So if we would have got a couple more vets, maybe just one or two, we would have had that extra little, that little push to go and beat Memphis. But it is what it is. We got Kuminga and Moody out of it, so. I think it worked out well for everybody.
Okay. And I got to ask my guy, Jay Hill, man, because, this is the Warriors episode. And I know Jay Hill, a big Dove Nation faithful, man. So, Jay Hill, are you content with how the year went?
All right, hell nah. I think anytime you got it, I think what Joshy said, the front office could have made more moves to stay competitive. Anytime you got a top 2, top 3 player like Steph, you got to be making the playoffs, no questions asked, regardless of who else is with him. You got to make the playoffs or it's a failure, in my opinion. So they were right there too. Questionable with the playing game and that whole system, but they got to make the playoffs. So I'm not content with the way the season went.
Man, well, I would have to side with you guys. I mean, if I was a Warriors fan, I wouldn't be content. When you have, like how you said, Jay Hill, when you have one of the greatest players, the best shooter of all time, you need to do everything in your power, man, to give him the pieces that he needs around him to make that deep playoff push. Well, real quick, guys, I just want to play this hypothetical with you, Josh, and Jay Hill and Junior, with you too. But I gotta ask the two Dove Nations here, but. Guys, hypothetical. I know there was a lot going on. I know Clay didn't play. I know there was a lot of COVID stuff, COVID protocols. You had to miss 10 to 15 games. But if Clay plays and you guys have a healthy season, how far do you guys go? Hypothetical.
You talking about this season?
This past season that just happened. If Klay Thompson would have played,
I think. Man, I think we could have made the finals. Honestly, the way the playoffs went, we could have made the finals. We would have beat the Suns. I'm telling you, that would have first round playing the Suns. It's a wrap. It's easy with Clay. Easy. I'm telling
you. Jay Hill, what about you?
Yeah, I agree. If you have, and what you're saying is a healthy Clay, right?
I'm saying a healthy Warriors team.
Okay, 100%. Yeah, no, that's a finals team. We would have played Utah if first of all, I think we would have beat we lost by what, 3 to the Lakers in the first play-in game. We would have beat the Lakers if we had Clay that game.
Easy.
You're gonna beat Phoenix. Yeah, and you're winning out. You're beating Portland. You're beating Denver or whoever wins that series. Yeah, they're making the finals, and they have a good chance of winning. Like if you have that backcourt. So, yeah, I mean.
Okay. Yes, we don't even need to get too deep into that, but I definitely wanted to play that hypothetical game, with a Warriors fan because. I mean, Klay Thompson is the best two-way player, or before his injury, was the best two-way player in the league. So, him missing so much time definitely, can hurt a team. So that's nice. I want to check the temperature on that, man. But guys, I need to talk about the elephant in the room here. Okay. There's a huge elephant in the room over there in Golden State. And, during the season, I heard lots and lots of talk about Curry for MVP because of his superhuman season that he had. I mean, the man led the league in scoring at 32 points per game, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, shot a ridiculous 42% from the three throughout the season, which is absolutely insane. And really, to me, one of the most impressive things was that bro was seeing triple teams nightly because he's the only player that the Warriors had and still, led the league in scoring. But for me personally, if you ask John Costa, if you say, John, what does the MVP constitute? And to me, the MVP has to have the individual success on top of the winning. So to me, he couldn't be my MVP. But Jay Hill and Joshy and Junior, you two, if you guys want to answer this, was that superhuman season enough for him to be MVP, even though the Warriors weren't pulling the wins out?
I think they were the worst team in the league without, Steph. Clay obviously was out for 2 years, but he literally led them to the brink. They were the 8th seed. And I mean, honestly, in a regular season, they would have made the playoffs. They were right there. He was putting up like godlike numbers without really almost to zero to no help. And I think if they make the playoffs, he has a really, really good chance of winning MVP. And I think, right or wrong, I think definitely you have to have the winning. So that's why I'm kind of iffy and almost to the point where I'd say no. But any other year, if they're making the playoffs and they're maybe the 6th seed, I think it's easy. Like he's winning it easy. We saw a few years back, Russ won it and they were, I think, the 7th seed, Thunder that year. So if he's winning that way, then yeah, he's definitely got to be into consideration. But I think you got to be definitely they had to win that play-in game. And I think the media definitely would have voted for Steph. But what do you think, Josh?
I think with Jokic just doing what he was doing that season, especially with Murray being out, it's just kind of tough to give it to Steph, especially being in the 8th seed. And I mean, I think Curry missed a couple games too, so you got to consider that. If Curry played all those games, he probably would have been the 6th seed, and he probably would have deserved it. But overall, I gotta give it to Jokic. I can't go with Curry on that one.
Okay, and how about you, Junior?
I mean, I'm feeling the same way as Joshy does. I mean, I think what Jokic was doing was pretty incredible. And when you look at an MVP as well, I would say Steph was the best offensive player in the league this past season. But when you look at MVP, you also can't be, a big liability on defense. And I think that Jokic is not the best defender, but he's at least going to give you some protection. And I feel like Curry is a defender, and I'm not even bagging on him. It's just not his strength is not being a defender. It's being, just a lights out shooter. So I think that makes it a little bit tough unless you're doing something groundbreaking like he was the years that he didn't win his MVP seasons. So again, it's like pretty much both Jay Hill and Josh, said, and you too, John. I mean, it's going to be tough to win MVP if you're not making the playoffs, but I think if you maybe doing what he was doing and getting like a 4th seed or a 5th seed with the help with the supporting cast that he had, which this season was none, that would have earned an MVP. I think it's kind of like the Russell Westbrook example that Jay Hill gave. That team wasn't good, but he averaged a triple-double, and it hadn't been done since Oscar Robertson. So I think you got to do either something groundbreaking, or you gotta be winning and putting up the numbers, like you said, John. So it's kind of where I'm at with that one.
Yeah, man. With this, especially with Curry having a superhuman season and this MVP, so it's a real thin line to walk, man. So I just wanted to check your guys' temperature on that. But
he was
Josh,
still top 3 in voting. I mean, that just goes to show how good of a season he had. And if you could be top 3 in voting and miss the playoffs and still be top 3 in voting, that's incredible. You know what I mean?
No, to me, like, honestly, like, guys, like, when I was watching the Warriors games, I'm looking at the game and I'm like, okay, the other team knows that Stephen Curry is gonna score every time, and he still does it. So that's one of the most impressive things to me, man, is the fact that the man just finds a way to score literally through no matter box and one, triple teams, full court press, whatever it is, man. So just hats off to Wardell over there in Oakland, man. But Joshy, man, let me ask you a question, very, very big question when it comes to this whole rookie class. So, Joshy, do you believe in Wiseman?
Ooh, see, at the end of this season, I was like, man, we got to trade all these rookies. Like, we got to trade every rookie. And Wiseman, like, we gotta give him some leeway here though, because he only played 3 college games, and then coming straight into the NBA is tough for he's 18 years old. Like, you gotta give him a little leeway. I think I believe in him for this season. Like, we'll see what he does. But we gotta give him this season at least, man. You can't just give up on an 18-year-old kid. If he's not balling this season, hey, I'm for shipping all the rookies out and getting some vets. But I got faith in Wiseman. I think he could do something this year.
Okay, Jay Hill, what about you? You believe in Wiseman over there?
Hey, it's a tough situation for Wiseman, but definitely, like Joshy said, you got to give definitely all the young guys. I mean, what the front office has made clear is they're not really willing right now, at least, to mortgage the future to win right now. So if you're gonna do that, you gotta. What I didn't like last year was they weren't giving him the minutes that he needed to be successful and like giving him actual experience. They were kind of just limiting his minutes, which if you're going to do that, obviously he's not going to develop at the rate that you need to win. So if they're going to be, I'm basing his development on giving him minutes, putting him in the fire and giving him opportunity to sink or float. So they can't do this thing where they're giving him, 10 minutes a game. And then obviously his confidence is going to be shot if they're not giving him opportunities. So I think maybe to start the season, they got to think about, having him come off the bench. But if he earns the right to get more minutes, then you give him the minutes and you don't think back. But I'm right there with Joshy. If we find out like this year that he's not the center of the future, then obviously get him out of there and get someone who can win right now. Because these years, we got a small window. Like I'd say 2-3 years with Steph, Clay, and Dre, and they got to win now. So if he's not the center of the future, we got to find out this year.
So let me ask both of you guys a question, because that's the biggest criticism I hear about the Warriors front office is their I'll say lack of desire to want to ship out all the young players now and focus on Steph's window now, right? You see that they're kind of walking the fence in the sense that they're not really giving Steph like they didn't make a push for Bradley Beal, for example, where they could have, because they're not willing to trade Moody, they're not willing to trade Wiseman, they're not willing to trade Kuminga. They're not willing to trade the young guys for now. They want to also plan for the future. And that's been a little bit of a criticism that they've come under fire for, because because like Jay Hill said, Steph's window is going to close, right? Every player's window closes at some point. So what do you guys think? Would you rather see the front office make these win now moves, or are you okay with them having, half foot in the door, half foot out, where you have good players now, but you're not all the way invested in now, you're not all the way invested in later. You're kind of playing both.
Well, we gotta look at it like this. There wasn't too many guys that were available to trade for. So like there's Beal, there's Siakam, there's Ben Simmons, and I don't feel comfortable like trading all our pieces for those guys, because I don't think those are necessarily gonna put us to where they want to be. Like, if let's say a Paul George is available or Kawhi Leonard, then I'm like, okay, go ahead and ship them all out. But a Curry, Bradley Beal, Clay team, I don't know if that's enough to get us, all the way to the title. So I would just be before riding it out with these guys, at least for this season, and then kind of just go from there. Because if Kuminga does what he was doing in summer league this year, I mean, his trade value is going to be great. So, you know, I just think we could write it out and just see where it goes.
So you're cool with writing it out, even if that means costing a year out of Steph's window.
I think Steph. I mean, if Clay comes back, look, if Clay comes back healthy, I think anything is possible with regardless of who else is on the team. So,
okay,
I don't necessarily look at it as you know, losing a season and something like that. I think they could do great things just with the team that they have right now. So,
okay. What about you, J-Ho?
Yeah, I'm right there with Josh. That I think the three players that you mentioned, you know, Beal, Ben Simmons, and Siakam, those were all the top, you know, rumors, the packages that we were putting together. I don't think they've moved the needle enough, especially from what we have, to moving off those players, like say Wiggins, you know, the potential packages they were putting together for those guys. I don't see them. Okay, we bring in Ben Simmons, we're immediately winning a title. Nope, doesn't do that. And then like Josh said, like people have amnesia. Like, do you remember what Clay was doing? I'm not saying he's gonna come back and be what he was, you know, game 6 against the Raptors. But I mean, if he comes back at least like 70% of that, I mean, this guy, we're gonna be lethal still. The Warriors are gonna be lethal with that backcourt. Plus, it takes pressure off Wiggins. And then the pieces, like Josh said, Kuminga, Moody, the pieces that they added, Poole, let's not forget about him coming off the bench. I mean, they got weapons. And I think just keep those guys, develop those pieces, and see what we can do when Clay and all the guys. So run it back and see what we can do. And then maybe at the deadline, we're not in a position that we're going to be, you know, competing in the playoffs, then you maybe think about moving them at the deadline. But right now, you got to run it back.
Man, so I agree with you guys as far as Ben Simmons and Siakam, but I think Bradley Beal is a good enough player that he could maybe push that needle. I mean, imagine having Steph, Clay, and Bradley Beal. Like, I mean, that's a guaranteed like 90 points a night at least.
Defensively, I think that's too.
Defensively, it's a problem.
That worry. That's
well, not
worrisome.
Klay Thompson though. Clay's just gonna have to start guarding 3 players at once.
Nah, I think backcourt, that's a liability because right now, I'll be honest, like who you're matching up against is when you look in the West, you're setting up your team to match up with the Lakers and like the Clippers, obviously, if they're healthy. So if you give up your wing presence, like Wiggins in that playing game did a great job of bothering LeBron. Most of the like his points came against, you know, Juan Anderson, and when Wiggins was off, like switched off of him, that's when LeBron really got going. But if you take away our like wing stopper and Wiggins and you add in Bradley Beal, you're giving up a lot defensively, and you already have Steph. So I don't really think that's a good idea to get rid of that.
And that and that transitions perfectly into my point here that I want to talk to you you Jay Hill and Joshy about, you know, Joshy, you mentioned you don't think Bradley Beal moves you the needle enough to get you to the championship. I agree. You don't think Ben Simmons moves the needle enough to get you to the championship. I agree. But you said, yeah, if it's a Kawhi Leonard, you bring him on. So let me ask you now, Joshy, if the Warriors did throw out a trade, you know, let's say they gave away Kuminga and Wiseman for a Kawhi Leonard, like how we just mentioned, your big man presence would be limited to almost none. So even with a player like Kawhi Leonard, like what chances do you guys feel that you guys have? Like how Jake Hill said, you know, against another team like the Lakers with the AD, the Suns with the DeAndre Ayton. I know he's a young guy. Man, he learned a lot this last playoffs. And even like, you know, to win a championship, you would have to beat the team in the East. You would have to beat that big motherfucker Joel Embiid. Like that's a big dude. You know what I'm saying? Like that's a big dude. So Joshy and Jay Hill, to answer me that question, does the big man presence scare you if you do a trade for Kawhi Leonard and give away Wiseman?
Not really, because the Warriors have never been relying on a big man. We've had dudes like who have we had? JaVale McGee. We had Looney playing spot minutes at the center. We always had like 3 centers on the roster that we would switch out, and we never had like that one big man that would, you know, would just go out there and dominate. So that's why it's different with Wiseman. But I think they would be just fine because our offense and defense necessarily doesn't need a big man to to prosper. So I think we would do great, to be honest.
Nah, Josh, you nailed it right on the head. Warriors have never been relying on a big man. Honestly, what this past year, obviously Looney, stepped in at the end of the season, but prior to that, it was a lot of small ball. We saw, a lot of Draymond at the 5, and they've been successful. The Warriors have always been successful, playing small and not relying on a big man. So yeah, I don't think it's getting rid of Wiseman and Kuminga. I'd rather hold on to right now, at least from what I saw. But Wiseman, nah, I'm not worried about that.
Okay.
But would you guys say that the game today, because obviously when the Warriors won, they were known for bringing that small ball style to the NBA. But would you say the game today is still that way? Because I think there's a lot of I guess trends that are inclining the game is going back towards having bigs. You saw when the Lakers won, they had a big. They played against Miami, who had a successful big. Giannis, I mean, he's as tall as Anthony Davis. You had DeAndre Ayton being an impactful player on the other end, not their best player, but you're seeing bigs make more and more of an impact. Do you still think the formula for success doesn't involve a big when it comes to the Warriors?
I mean, Josh, yeah, I mean, none of these teams have the Splash Brothers. I mean,
that's true. That's true.
Depending on, I mean, that was who changed the game, like Steph and Clay. And then obviously the other pieces, obviously we added Iguodala again, and then, Draymond's coming back. But that was dependent on them, spacing the floor and having that shooting. So they didn't have to rely on getting in the paint and defending the paint, because they just could run you into the ground. They didn't need to get near the basket to beat you. So I think obviously it's dependent on, who comes back healthy. That's all. Right. I'll leave it, Josh.
Yeah, no, and that's true. All right, Josh, you could take the answer too, but I got to follow up on that.
Yeah, no, I just think it's still yet to be determined. Yeah. We haven't seen what Stephen Clay and Wiggins are going to look like out there. Maybe the game has changed and maybe we do need a big man, but we don't know yet. Like we got to see how exactly everything pans out. And if after the season we see, damn, like we really do need a big man, then that's what we got to go out and get. But I definitely can see you guys' point how the game has evolved a little bit with the big man, but we got to see how this season turns out, man.
Yeah, no, and I agree. I mean, it's all about, like, we can predict as much as we want, but we there's only so much you can know until you go in and play it. But I think what I was thinking about is back in the day, it was just the Warriors just had a game plan to play the Cavs in the final, and the Cavs just had a game plan to play the Warriors in the final. And that's always how it was, right? But now, you got so many teams, right? You got like the Lakers, the Nets, the Sixers, the Bucks, the Warriors, the Clippers. These are all teams that have a legit shot at winning a title. So it's not just more game planning for one team now. Now you got really a barrage of different teams that you have to kind of game plan for. So it'll be interesting to see how it pans out.
Yeah, man, it definitely will be interesting, and just real quick, Jenner, to add on to that point that you're talking about with the style switching in the league, and I agree personally, because we noticed when the Warriors were on top, they were winning. Everyone wanted to play small ball. Big man didn't matter, but now these last 2-3 years in the league, the NBA, all best teams in the league, like how you said, Junior, have a real versatile big who can run a high, usually a high pick and roll with the point guard who can shoot. That's usually the formula of a team, because your offense just sets up way higher. It just makes it a lot easier, man. Like AD, Giannis, Collins, Jokic, KD, like those are all kind of bigs who are versatile bigs, man. So I definitely feel that point. So Joshy, you throughout this pod multiple times you mentioned you like Kuminga, you like Moses Moody. So talk to me about how you feel that they're gonna fit, like their immediate impact on the Warriors this season, and who do you think will have more of an immediate impact?
I think Kuminga is just more NBA ready just because of his body. He's like 6'8". I think he got like a 7'1" wingspan. I think we could slide him into like that 4 position and play Draymond at the 5. And I think he's going to be very solid defensively. And then Moody, he's a great spot-up shooter, so I think he's just going to slide right in there. Curry's going to be able to dish it out to him, and he's going to be able to splash those corner threes down for us. But I think Moody he'll be able to develop and learn from Steph and Clay, and he'll kind of I think he could develop a little slower than Kuminga, but I think both were very solid picks, man, for where they picked up.
Man, yeah, I definitely like those two picks, man. I was watching a bit of Kuminga over the summer league, and man, Josh, you're right. If he can play at least like 70% of that, and he can back up Draymond, that would be a huge boost off the bench, man. So I like that Kuminga pickup a lot. But let me ask you and Jay Hill, how do you guys feel about free agency, man? I know you guys haven't been too aggressive. I mean, besides bringing Wardell back on a 4-year contract, which is great. But besides that, how do you guys feel? Otto Porter Jr., Iggy, and then Bielitsa. How do you guys feel about those signings?
Yeah, I think they had a very solid free agency. Obviously, with they didn't use that MLE. They're looking to add, Patty Mills and Batum, but they struck out on both of them. But I think the players that they did, they added, 2 shooters in Otto Porter if he stays healthy, and Bielitsa, who's shown himself to be a knockdown shooter and a very competent shooter at that. And then obviously they made a small addition in Chioza, but I think obviously my opinion, the biggest addition was bringing Andre back, because I mean he's a catalyst. I think he's going to be great for the young guys and Moody and Kuminga, as well as James Wiseman. Just bringing that championship, that big OG mentality, and he's been there with the core. He's been there, done that. He's a great locker room guy. So I think they had a solid free agency. Obviously, they could have got two players, but I like that they also kept that MLE, and they can potentially use that later in the season when they might have to make an addition, like we talked about, adding that big man. Who knows what they do with that? So I think they had a very patient free agency and made some very nice moves as well.
Okay, and
I agree with that. I definitely agree with that.
And along the lines of pieces that you guys could use for trading, for free agency and all that, I have to ask about this guy, Joshy. I want your personal opinion, and then Jay Hill right after. I need yours, because I just need it from Warriors fans, because I hear it everywhere, man. Like, do you guys like Wiggins or not? Because I hear some people talking about Andrew Wiggins is like your guy. Like, we like Wiggins. He's here for the future. And then I hear no, he's just here for a trading piece. He's here for a trading piece. So, Joshy, you go first. How do you personally feel about Wiggins? And then Jay Hill, you want to take it?
I think Wiggins is solid, man. He's gonna give you 20 points every night. He's gonna give you great defense. I think he shot 38% from the 3 last season. I mean, wings are hard to come by in the league. So I mean, I know his contract is a little crazy, but if we're not looking to trade him, I think he's a very solid piece to our team. He's gonna provide a lot. He's like a little better Harrison Barnes, back in 2015, 2016 when we had Barnes. So I think Wiggins is here to stay, unless there's a piece like I mentioned, Kawhi or PG, somebody like that, and ship him out of there. But right now, I feel comfortable with Wiggins for real. I can't complain.
Jay Hill.
Yeah, I'm right there with Josh. Wiggins, I take no Wiggins slander. I'm always defending that guy. Two-way Wiggs. I mean, he had a great season. I think he fits perfectly, like Josh said. He's Harrison Barnes plus that, because he can create a little better offensively. I just like when I hate when he settles for that mid-range fadeaway. When he gets to the rim, I think that's when he's at his best. And if he can continue to improve on that on that career high, wide open, 3-point shooting, and sometimes contested as well, I think he's only going to get better and improve in this system. So, I really like Wiggins, and I think he's, like Josh said, he's a great defender, and wings are hard to come by. So you got to keep him and keep him having him improve in our system.
So let me ask y'all about another player that's also a great defender and also on a massive contract, but he is more of a Warriors legend, and that's Draymond Green. How do you guys feel about him now in 2021, right? Because obviously he's not the Draymond Green, not peak Draymond Green anymore, but he's still an extremely smart player. And he's still obviously, he can get his, but sometimes he can be a little bit more of a liability on offense, right? He's and I'm not calling him that, but he's caught a lot of flack for being Mr. Triple Single, as some people would say, right? So he's not peak Draymond anymore, but he's still on the books. And like I said, he's still a very smart player. He could be a good locker room presence. But how do you guys feel about Draymond going into this upcoming season?
Man, I go back and forth about it all the time because I'm like, sometimes we're playing 4 versus 5 out there.
Yeah.
Draymond can't shoot. At the same time, though, like if we get rid of Draymond, like who are we gonna get back? So that's the issue. Like if we were to get like a Ben Simmons back, I'd feel comfortable with that. But it's hard to replace Draymond. 10 to 12 points a night out of Draymond, and I think he could do it. He just gotta, he gotta work on his game a little bit. But if he provides that, I got no qualms, no problems with Draymond. But until then, I'm gonna be a little wary.
Yeah. Nah, I mean, yeah, Josh nailed it. It's up and down as a Warrior fan with Draymond, but I mean, he's definitely more valuable to the Warriors than any other team, just from simply, his heart, his leadership, at times, obviously not when he's getting dumb technicals, getting dumb ejections. I think about that Knicks game, like all the time, what if they won one more game? But anyways, if he's within himself, man, there's no telling what he can do. Obviously, I don't know if his offensively, his game will ever come back. Like honestly, Josh, I'm hoping if he can get like 8 points a game, I would take it. just anything, And if he looks to attack the rim and then dish, but if he's looking, take his wide open layups, because they give him space to drive and do his thing. So. Like to see him a little bit more aggressive offensively, but I mean, he's Draymond. He's part of the Warriors' DNA. So
yeah, and that's the thing too.
That's just what it is.
It's tough to just be like, all right, man, you're out of here. And he's done so much for the organization. And like you said, I think Draymond's value is the highest when he's on the Warriors as opposed to being somewhere else. So it makes it a little bit tough to just get rid of him, after what he's done for the team.
Yeah, and on top of that, something that I'd want to add is that the fact he's just such a defensive anchor. Like not that yes, like he clamps you up. Yes, he's a good defender, but like vocally, like you really see him out there telling Wiseman where to go. I've often seen him pushing Wiseman to showing him where to go, and just just out there. He can help Kuminga grow into a great defender. He can help Wiseman. He can help Moody. He can just be a huge veteran piece, and he can be that bridge that transitions them from that their winning years when it was 2016, 17, all that to Wiseman's years. Because I'm stated on the record. I think Wiseman is going to be he's just going to take over the league. Like I think he's going to be the new AD really, really, really soon. I mean, give him some time. I mean, if he has the right system in him, man, he's just the abilities that he's got. I haven't seen in a long time since Kentucky, Anthony Davis, but. That's for a different discussion. But Jay Hill, man, I gotta ask you this, Jay Hill. This episode that I'm talking about isn't out yet, so I'm giving Josh and all the fans here listening a real special preview. But Jay Hill, we recently recorded the Minnesota Timberwolves episode, okay? And you asked our guest this question. You said, now that the season is over, would you have rather have drafted LaMelo instead of Anthony Edwards? And, the biggest names out of that draft was LaMelo, Anthony Edwards, and James Wiseman. So I want to ask you, Jay Hill, and then Josh, you can go ahead and take the answer right after. I know you guys didn't need a point guard. You guys have Curry, you guys have Clay coming back, but now that their rookie seasons is done, now that you see their game in the NBA level, are you still taking Wiseman, or would you like to go back and maybe pull up LaMelo or something like that?
I'm taking Wiseman. Just simply, they addressed the need. They addressed the need.
Josh is like, hell no.
They addressed the need that they had always, thought about. I mean, getting a guy like Wiseman, we saw the flashes. They're there. His talent is there. He obviously needs to get the experience, to get those minutes. And he didn't get them last year. So to say that, we should have taken LaMelo, like he was in the fire. He was getting the opportunities. And obviously he's a very skilled player for what Charlotte needs. I'm not saying that he's not a great player and he would have come in and did his purpose, but I still would have taken Wiseman, knowing what I know now, just simply because he's a better fit. And that's what they drafted, obviously, for was fit, not the best player available. And we know who our backcourt is. We know who our 1, 2, and 3 is right now, which is Steph, Clay, and Wiggins. So why are you going to put in LaMelo there? You got Wiseman. The potential's there, and that's what I think. But Joshy's not agreeing with me.
Joshy disagrees.
Let us know, Josh.
No, sometimes you gotta throw the fit out the window. Like you just gotta take the better player. Because LaMelo, I'm telling you right now, if we had LaMelo coming off the bench with Steph, Kuminga, and Moody, that's just so much crazy potential. Like obviously Wiseman, like he could develop into something, crazy, like you're saying. AD, he has that frame, he has that potential. But boy, man, we saw LaMelo do this year. If we would have that as a backup on the Warriors, man, oh my goodness, it was a wrap. Like
I think that would have helped.
LaMelo, but it is what it is. It is what it is.
That would have helped a lot when Curry went down. If you could have had, when Curry was out, you would have had LaMelo out there. I think you guys probably would have been at least a 6 seed. So, but I mean, I agree with both of you guys' answer. I know that fit is an important thing. At the same time, also sometimes you just got to draft the best player. I mean, I always, and I've been on the record so many times about this, drafting Lonzo Ball over Jason Tatum. Like that was a prime example of fit versus best player, and that was a horrible pick, right? So it honestly goes both ways. It could go both ways, but I think now. The good thing is now you guys still have Wiseman. He's still a great player. So I do think at least it wasn't like you drafted what was the guy who got drafted? Darko Milicic over Anthony Dwayne Wade. That's hilarious.
Hey, but at the same time, Lonzo turned into AD, who turned into a championship. So
that's
you got to look at it that way.
I can't complain with how it ended. Yeah. And I think if the Lakers would have drafted Jason Tatum, he would have been in New Orleans too. So it's like it's a whole matter of you got to look at the whole picture. But I guess now we'll see what happens in a few years. So if the Warriors end up winning a title, then it's not going to matter that they didn't draft LaMelo because they got a title. So that's what's going to have to be.
Okay, all right. So Joshy, as we start to wrap it up here and come to a close, one question that we like to ask all our fans here, and similar to the question I asked in the beginning when I asked you, considering everyone is healthy, how far would you guys have gone last year? But considering everyone is healthy, this new roster that you guys have with the addition of Otto Porter Jr., Bielitsa, Iggy, and Curry back again, a little bit older. Where do you guys finish this year?
All right, so I'm on record right now. Warriors gonna finish with a good 3 seed, and I think if Clay is healthy, man, do not doubt them, bro. They can win the title with that roster. I'm telling you right now. All we gotta do is maybe make a couple vet pickups at the trade deadline. We need a backup point guard. That's one thing we do need. We need a nice backup point guard. I know Jordan Poole might be able to be the backup point guard, but I think he's going to play the 2. So if we get a nice backup point guard, I think we can go all the way. That's just me, but I really believe it, man.
Okay. I love to believe. Jay Hill, as a Dub Nation faithful, where do you guys finish with everyone healthy?
Hey, I will add that faithfulness has been questioned tonight, but I will say, I agree with Josh, but I'll take it 1 seed back. I think we're going to be the 4th seed just because we don't know where Clay is going to be at when the season starts. But I think we'll be a top 4 seed, probably in that 3-4 spot. And I think don't sleep on Gary Payton II if he can develop like that consistent, just knock down off the ball shot. No, I'm serious. Like in the summer league, he showed flashes. So I'm not saying he's the answer, but he might be at the beginning of the season. He might be our backup point guard. So no, I think they have a reasonable shot to be definitely in the top 4 in the West. So that's where I'm going to call it right now.
Last question here that we ask all our fans. Josh, if you could give us one word or one phrase to describe how this past season went, and then one word or one phrase to describe how you feel about this upcoming season.
Last season, Cheeks. This season, title. Yeah.
Okay.
Title.
Okay, hey Joshy, I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. Out of all the interviews we've done, those have been the best 2 words: cheeks and title. I like those.
That's hella funny.
I like those a lot, man. All
My
right,
guy's
all
going
right.
rags to riches from one season to the next.
Jay Hill, man. What about you? What's one word or phrase for each season?
Hey, Josh, you took the words right out of my mouth. Cheeks and title.
Cheeks and title.
×2, baby. Let's get it.
Oh, okay. Hey, cheeks and title double up, baby. I like it. I like it, Josh. You're starting trends over here on Clutch Shot, man. All right, man. So Joshy, first of all, I want to thank you, for being able to being here with us and blessing us with your time. And we got through this entire interview. But Joshy, I want to introduce you to our closing segment we do here at Clutch Talk called Guess the Player. This is how Guess the Player works. I have 5 players here. I have listed off a bunch of their accolades, things that they're known for, things that they've done. And you, Junior, and Jay Hill got to guess. You guys have 2 guesses. Feel free to blurt them out right away if you want, but then your guesses are up. So you can wait until I say all the hints, or you can say in the first hint if you know. You got it?
Got it.
Sir, let's get it.
All right, let's get it. Welcome to this Guess the Player episode, guys. All right, first player. This guy, he was an all-star game head coach. But as a player, this guy is a one-time NBA steals leader. He's a NCAA champion.
Steve Kerr.
No.
I was actually thinking that too. I'm glad you
Yeah.
actually eliminated that one for me.
He's a 12-time All-Star, 2-time All-Star game MVP, 3-time NBA first team. His jersey is retired with the team that he played for. He's a 2-time NBA champion.
Coach the Rockets.
Did not coach the Rockets.
Oh.
He's a 1-time Finals MVP. Okay, you guys get ready for this one. This guy was the leader of a team that bruised up a lot of players.
Oh, Isaiah Thomas.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay, all right. Let's do this. Next player here. All right. This player, only real hoopers or real hoop junkies, people who just love the NBA, know about this guy. Okay. He played 17 seasons in the NBA. He's one of the most underrated players, honestly, by far. He's related to Kyrie Irving.
Rod Strickland.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. There you go, Joshy. There you go, boy.
Joshy K.
Okay.
What up, boy? Jeez, that was a big one.
All right, here we go. 4th player here. This guy is a 1-time 6th man of the year. He's a 1-time gold medalist winner. He's a 1-time NCAA champion. He's a 1-time NBA champion. And he actually got the championship tattoo. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Man, Joshy K came with the heat.
I see you, boy.
Whoa. The Jet.
What's up?
The Jet.
Yeah, the Jet. Yeah, he got it.
The Jet.
All right, here we go. Last player, guys. Last player. Hey, I'm expecting big things out of you, Joshy, and you and Jay Hill for this last player. Okay,
Wait, it's 2-1 right now, right?
Joshy
So
is
we
2.
might have to if I get this one, we go to tiebreaker, right?
Yeah, we'll go to tiebreaker.
Okay.
This guy went to Christian Brothers High School in Missouri. After Christian Brothers High School in Missouri, he decided to attend UNLV. After his time at UNLV, he entered the draft and got drafted in the second round and the 38th pick by the Bucks. And now, on August 20th, 2021, this guy's a 3-time NBA champion.
Hold on.
This is what I'll say.
Dude, I know this guy. Hold on.
I'm going to give you a huge hint. I'm going to give everyone a huge hint here. Okay?
Wait, I know his face, bro. I don't know his name.
I'm going to give everyone a huge hint. He's not a star player.
Oh my God, dude, I know exactly who it is. Fuck, dude, I don't know this guy's name.
Jay Hill and Joshy.
I don't know.
He's a favorite in the Warrior Kingdom.
What?
Warriors fans love this guy. They always talk great about this guy.
Oh. It's not Patrick McCaw, is it?
It is Patrick McCaw.
That's who I was saying. That's what I was saying, bro. I'm like McKinney.
It is Patrick
McCaw. Like I was trying to say, I almost was gonna say McKinney. But I know it's not McKinney because he was on the Lakers last year. So I'm like McCaw. That's who it was. That's why I knew it.
I knew it was.
Hey,
McCaw,
he's a bum,
man.
bro. I don't remember that. I don't remember the bum.
Hey, Joshy, you can say whatever you
bum.
want, but the man a 3-time champion.
Sorry.
Hey, McCaw.
What was that, Jay Hill?
He's a ring chaser, man.
Hey, he getting them done, baby. He getting them done. But man, that was very, very, very fun, man. And then this is a good spot for us to go ahead and start to wrap it up, man. So, Joshy, again, we want to thank you from the bottom of our hearts, man. We want to thank you for coming on here and just blessing us with your time. And you're a very, very knowledgeable Warriors fan. You know a lot about the team, man. And we were just happy, to have you on. Jay, I know you be with the music stuff, man. So go ahead and blast the music stuff out. Go ahead and let them know your SoundCloud, Apple Music, Spotify. I know you on that. So let them know, Josh.
Oh yeah, everybody follow me on IG at Jay Henrix, JayHenrx. I had a blast on here though, man. Love discussing hoops with y'all, bro. It was fucking fun, bro.
Yes, definitely, sir. Man. So thank you very, very much, Joshy. Jay Hill, I know since you part of Dub Nation, what do you got to say, to close out here to Joshy and to Dub Nation?
Yeah, Dub Nation faithful. I stand by that, but yeah, appreciate my brother Joshy coming on here, talking Warriors. Always love talking ball with him, and yeah, I think this is gonna be a great year for the Warriors and their fans. So let's get it.
Man, let's get it. Junior.
Yes, sir. Nah, I'm just happy, man. Appreciate my brother Joshy coming on. It's been a minute since I talked to him too, and he's the homie all the way back from high school. So I was happy. Thank you for coming on, man. It was great talking. I mean, I love when we could do these pods. We definitely got to do one when it comes time for a Lakers Warriors game because this was a lot of fun. So no, just appreciate you coming on, and for all the Warriors fans out there, go Lakers.
Oh man, well there you have it, man. This was an absolutely great episode. I love an episode, when we could get hoop junkies and friends, man. We've all been knowing each other for a very long time, so this is a great episode. And for all the Warriors fans out there, I gotta tag along with Junior, man. For all the Warriors fans out there, just wait for the 19th, man, because y'all gonna see the Lakers and then we gonna see what's up, man. Woo! But there you have it, though, everybody, man. That's it. We out of here. Clutch Talk out.
Peace.
All right, y'all.